Hello, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here then welcome to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be talking about what I'm currently reading since the new year is rapidly approaching and I've accidentally found myself once again extremely behind on my reading challenge, which was to read 150 books in a year of 2025. I am currently at 128 and I have been in a reading slump for a few months now. I am in fact blaming this entire situation on my reading slump because I was doing good at least some point throughout the year. Like, not only was I on track, but I was very ahead. But clearly that did not last. There is now only a couple of weeks left, so let's go ahead and talk about everything that I am currently reading to try to reach my reading goal. Because I am scrambling some, and I do have an end of the year TBR. I am still hoping to fit in a couple of those before the year ends, but I am mostly focusing right now on short, quick things. We're talking manga volumes, poetry collections, light novels, graphic novels, stories that do not exceed 350 pages, and really audiobooks of any length, because audiobooks are just more convenient for me in general because I am also crocheting a lot of gifts right now. So yeah, I will have the content warnings linked down below in the description along with links to some resources, and let's go ahead and get into it. And we are going to start with Model Home by River Solomon. And this follows three siblings from a family that when they moved into the neighborhood, they were the only black family. The neighbors acted nice enough, but scary, strange, and unexplainable things began happening to them right away inside of their house. But they refused to abandon their home, and now as adults, all three siblings have left, leaving their parents all alone in the house. However, when news of their parents' death arrived, they reunite to reckon with their family's past and present and try to find out what happened to them while they were away, as their parents did not die a natural death. I started this back in October, my reading slump really ramped up, and despite this book not being that long, despite it probably being a 5-star read for me, I am still reading it in December. But yeah, the writing is so interesting in this book that it feels really smart. It is a little bit difficult at times. I do have to reread on occasion, but like I have 6 tabs in this in like 170 pages, and they're all from lines that have really impacted me. It's also not always the easiest to read in terms of the content itself. Like, it's dark in like a fantasy horror way, but also dark in like a real life horror way. And the characters are just dealing with and have dealt with so much. And it's a book that has broken through my reading slump at times, and in those moments I just could not put it down. And yeah, unless something changes here in like the last 100 or so pages, it is definitely probably getting 5 stars. Next up is an audiobook, and that is Son of Elsewhere, a memoir in pieces by Elamin Abdel Mahmoud. This is a memoir and collection of essays that have a focus on blackness, faith, pop culture, and just trying to find your way in the world from the author who emigrated with his family at the age of 12 from Sudan to Kingston, Ontario. So I'm at the point in the year where I'm starting to prep my year-end list, and I was scrolling through Storygraph and realized that it has been a while since I've read any nonfiction. I have about an hour left in this audiobook. The author reads it himself, and he's an engaging storyteller, so I've been having a good time with that aspect of things. And the essays themselves are also interesting, and it's been interesting to hear his perspectives and life experiences. Next up is my other audiobook, and that is All This Twisted Glory by Tahereh Mafi. And this is book 3 of the This Woven Kingdom series, and it follows our main character, who is the long-lost heir to an ancient Jin kingdom. But the rest of the world only really sees her as a disposable servant girl, as she is forced to hide who she truly is. And then this follows our other main character, who is the crown prince, and he has always heard prophecies foretelling the death of the king. However, he never expected it to be this servant girl, who he can't stop thinking about, who would uproot his kingdom and the entire world. I also only have about an hour of this left. I think maybe an hour and a half. But like I said at the beginning of this video, I have a long list of gifts that I need to crochet. But with only an hour left in Son of Elsewhere, my brain was just like, I need something longer to do this to. Just like uninterrupted. And since the second book in this series did a good job at distracting me from a long task that I had at work, this definitely felt like the obvious choice, and I do think it was the correct choice. Because it is, once again, fully distracting me from the amount of time that it takes to complete the task in front of me. And it's also a bit more action-packed than the second book, which I've been really enjoying. I am very much into just like all of the drama, and there is a lot of drama. I said in my review of the second book in my November wrap-up that I couldn't pinpoint exactly why I'm so invested in this series. And I do think that I maybe just like the vibes, but I also am invested and also at the same time detached from the characters. Like, there isn't anyone that I super love, but I also do have a lot of opinions, while I'm just like observing the drama and the story from afar, so that has been really fun. I do think the more that I get into this series, the more that it goes on, the more that I am going to find that care for these characters. I mean, there's a couple of them I don't think I will ever ever find that with, but for most of them, I do think that is going to be the case. But yeah, I am all in this until the end for sure. Like, it has been a slow burn so far, and I just need to like feel and know what is all leading up to. And next up is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And this takes place in a cafe that is located in a back alley in Tokyo that has been serving coffee for over 100 years. However, this cafe also offers a different service, and that is to travel back in time. And we follow 4 different stories and characters who want to make use of this, but time traveling does not come without its risks. I have been wanting to read this from the moment I saw it, like years ago now. And I was looking for a shorter book on my e-reader, and then I found this, and I just thought that it was time. And I do kind of have some mixed feelings about this. Like, it's charming, but I occasionally don't like the way some of the women are written. Like, there have been a couple of lines that have thrown me off, but otherwise I do really like the characters so far. I also haven't really gotten invested in any of the romantic relationships that have been the focus of the first 2 stories, although I was feeling like a little bit emotional towards the end of the second one. This is also seemingly beating my reading slump right now. I don't know if my brain just likes the way that it's separated in the 4 separate stories, but I've been unable to put it down until I reach the next story whenever I start a story. And yeah, it has its charms. It's a little bit repetitive at times, which I do go back and forth about. Like, is it just like, okay, here's this again, or is it like an actual charming trait that this book has? I don't know. I haven't fully decided yet because I felt both ways at different times. So yeah, I do mostly like this. It's done some smart and charming things, and I'm looking forward to the other 2 stories. Let's go ahead and move on to manga, and the main series that I'm focusing on right now is Medalist by Suru Maikata. And this follows our main character Inori, who has always dreamed of being a figure skater. However, she is already what the skating world considers to be too old. She has always had trouble at school, and her mom is fully against it. But despite all of this, the skating rink is the only place where she feels like she can be herself, and she ends up meeting Tsukasa, who is struggling with his own skating career path, and they form a coach and student team who have an unshakable belief that they can prove everyone wrong. This is one of my favorite anime that I've watched this year. The second season is also starting soon, but I wanted to read their manga even before the anime came out, when this series was still in like its beginning stages and was getting some critical acclaim. And yeah, they're really cute and sweet and wholesome. There is so much heart here. The anime did make me cry, and I just really connected with it in a way that I wasn't expecting. Like, I was expecting it to be good. I was expecting to like it, but it has a really special place in my heart, and I also just really like it from like a sports anime manga perspective. There are rivalries, there's a lot of love and passion for figure skating, and I've liked the pacing and the structure so far. The characters are also really fun. There's a lot of like charming, silly comedy, and just like the way that Tsukasa supports and believes in her feels so healing and also just so wholesome to me. And also just her character growth and learning to love herself, like, it's so sweet. I adore this series so much. And I do suspect that like this last final chunk of my reading challenge is mostly going to be completed by this series. But I also do want to read some of Delicious in Dungeon and also Witch Hat Atelier, and also who knows what else I'll find. Okay, so that is all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!